though, the former president is doubling down on his claim that if he's reelected, Russian President Vladimir Putin will release imprisoned American journalist Evan Gershkovich.
Evan Gershkovich, the reporter for the Wall Street Journal who is being held by Russia, will be released almost immediately after the election, but definitely before I assume office. He will be home. He will be safe. Vladimir Putin, president of Russia, will do that for me, and I don't believe he'll do it for anyone else, and we will be paying nothing. Biden likes to pay massive numbers. We will be paying nothing.
The 32-year-old Gershkovich has been jailed on espionage charges in Russia since 2023. That accusation has been thoroughly denied by the U.S. government. Joining us now, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist and associate editor of The Washington Post, as well as an MSNBC political analyst, Eugene Robinson. Eugene, let's start there. Just how dangerous and blatant is this message Donald Trump sending to Vladimir Putin?
Well, it's obscene. It's absolutely obscene and disgusting that he would use this as some sort of a campaign ploy. And, you know, the obvious question is, okay, if you could get Vladimir Putin to release Evan, do it. Do it now. The idea that, oh, yeah, well, if you just vote for me, I'll get him home. It's just obscene. That's the only word for it. Either, you know, it does raise the question of what sort of communication he might or might not be having with Vladimir Putin, but he's probably making it all up, sending a signal to Putin not to release Evan until after the election.
Yeah, I totally agree, and just reprehensible is another word that pops to mind.
That's a good word. That's a good word.
Eugene, let's talk about sort of the Washington story of the moment. Wall Street Journal had a report yesterday suggesting that behind closed doors in some important meetings, President Joe Biden showing signs of age, some signs of slippage, as they put it. The White House fiercely pushed back, saying that they're pointing to the Republicans quoted, saying there are lots of Democrats out there who say President Biden, sure, he's 81, but he's just fine to do the job. Give us your analysis of this tempest here as it revives a storyline the White House hoped it was behind them.
Well, exactly. It brings it back to the fore. And look, you know, I'm not a media critic. I try not to do that. I don't like a lot of navel gazing. But in this case, I will point out that while the story says the reporters did speak with Democrats who somehow shared this idea of Biden slipping. In fact, it does not quote any Democrats by name as saying that. And it fails to quote a number of Democrats who were spoken to by the reporters who said the opposite. So I'm not going to, you know, Wall Street Journal is a great newspaper and it has high standards. But I think, you know, a story quoting a whole bunch of Republicans saying Joe Biden has lost more than a step is not. It's not worthy of generating a tempest over. It's not news. That's a line, a campaign line. That's a line of attack that the Republican Party has used all along. And so if there's a revelation there to be made, I don't think they have made it.
Yeah, I mean, polls suggest, look, that some voters do care about President Biden's age, but also Donald Trump, only a couple years younger. He's got a birthday next week, and we have played time and time again here in the mornings the shines of his. Complete incoherence at times by Trump, and so we could certainly do that sort of story just with publicly available clips of Trump. Yeah, exactly right. Eugene, let's close with your thoughts here on the D-Day anniversary. The sacrifices of 80 years ago, but also how current and important it is now in a Europe that is once again shadowed by war, and President Biden going to stress the need for alliances.
Yeah, this seems like a really, really important anniversary, number one, because of what's going on in Europe, this land war, the biggest land war since World War II, Putin's attempt to conquer Ukraine, to swallow Ukraine, and the threat that Europeans feel in other countries from Russia. It's that's one moment, and the other thing is what's happening in the United States. This pivotal election we have coming up, the divisions in our country, and what I've been thinking about the last couple of days, and I guess may write about today, is that, the country had divisions before. The country was divided before World War II in a whole lot of ways, and in some of those ways much worse than it's divided now. And we did manage to come together for this incredible achievement of winning the biggest war that there ever was. And so maybe we should just keep everything in perspective.
Let's hope you are right. We're looking at live footage there from Normandy, and we will hear from the president a little later this morning. The Washington Post's Eugene Robinson, thank you, my friend, and thanks to all of you for getting up way too early with us.